Yep, y'all been asking for it, so here I am bringing it to you. I seen the comments where y'all are saying react to the explanation and then changing it, because I said at some point that I was gonna see it on my own time, but then I didn't, because, you know, busy doing work, busy doing YouTube shit, and just busy in general. That, and, you know, it's kind of hard to do shit whenever you have a Wi-Fi that refuses to work whenever you want it to. Thank you, T-Mobile, piece of shit. Anyways, I haven't seen this yet. Like I said, I never had the time to, so might as well make a reaction video out of it since you guys been wanting me to. So yeah, let's get right into it. All right, Lockstin, show me why my boy Blaziken won. Then again, I'll be satisfied no matter what reason I get, because, like I said, Blaziken's my favorite starter. Typhlosion's my second. Because although if I'm being honest, I fully expected that Swampert to win at the end, because he was racking up kills. Like, first off, he helped break the damn island, and then he was just racking up kills left and right. Like, I'm so surprised he didn't win. Yeah, so, yeah, anyways, let's get back into this.
Yeah, the latest Pokemon Battle Royale I helped Terminal Montage create is out, and it made...
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, honestly, I feel like out of all of them, this is the best one. Well, maybe, because the legendary one was pretty badass. So, this one might be second to that.
Be the most controversial...
They probably don't watch this, but in the case Lockstin and Terminal Montage see this, there's an idea for something they could do for this, and that's a Battle Royale with all the Alolan, Galarian, Paldean, Hisuian Pokemon. That would be a cool Battle Royale, or, you know, one with all the Paradox Pokemon too. That'd be another cool one. Yeah.
One yet, because people love their starters. Go watch that first, because I'm going to spoil everything. You have 3 seconds.
People especially love their grow files too, because something with Mystery Dungeon. I haven't played the Mystery Dungeon games. I just know little tidbits and facts about it.
The best part is there's
and the music.
No Sylveon.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Hang on, allow me to explain. So in this battle,
yeah, I actually saw some of the comments explaining that, and it's because Eevee's a starter in one of the Shadow Pokemon games. I believe it's XD Gale of Darkness or Coliseum, and Eevee's your starter in that one, and Sylveon didn't exist then. It's because I believe it was only up to Gen 4, I think. I say up to Gen 4 because there was Glaceon and Leafeon, and they weren't introduced till Gen 4, so yeah, I imagine that's when the games were released. Otherwise, I don't know why they were there, because if it was released before Gen 4, then I don't know why they were there. But, yeah.
Battle Royale, we have all of the evolutions of all of the starter Pokemon. Now, obviously, like Oshawott and most of the rest of the basic unevolved Pokemon are not going to win. But by having them here, it leads to more opportunities for...
Yet that fucking Sobble lasted longer than it probably should have. But then again, the fucker can camouflage, so yeah. And surprisingly, what was it, Drizzle and Inteleon? They can't, surprisingly. You think it would keep that trait? Or does it? I don't know.
For jokes, deaths, and interesting tidbits. Folks gotta remember, creative liberties are always taken with these, though for most interactions, we base things on, like, the Pokedex entries, the anime personalities, gameplay mechanics, and competitive VGC and TCG meta. But
wait, what?
Creative liberty...
Okay, I knew they based them off of, like, the Pokedex entries and game shit and all that stuff, and the anime. I never knew they based it off of the Pokemon cards. I actually didn't know that. Okay.
We could not take was Sylveon being here because, well, Eevee is only a starter Pokemon in games like Pokemon XD, Conquest, and Let's Go Eevee, which is also why Eevee has the balloons. But in none of these games is your starter Eevee able to evolve into Sylveon.
Sadly.
Conquest is a Gen 5 game, and your starter Eevee does not evolve at all in Let's Go Eevee. You can try, but without glitchy exploits, it's not possible. This is also why there's no Raichu, and why the Eevee finally gets an evolution stone scene exists. What? Yes, that was everyone's feelings when Let's Go Eevee came out. Now then, let's watch the whole battle again and pause for comment.
I tried to evolve that thing into... I think I tried to evolve it into Espeon and it just didn't work, yeah.
on some of the lesser-known details and explain why things happen the way they do. I love the occasional Hisuian balls.
Yeah, I know.
Like, why does Poipole make a cameo here? Well, because Poipole is a starter Pokemon in its home dimension, but since we, the players ourselves, never get one as a starter, it's not included in the battle
I guess that is true. Yeah, I didn't even notice that Poipole was in it. Okay.
itself.
Or did I, and I just forgot. I don't know.
Oh, Charmander drowned. If the tip of its tail goes out, it dies, according to the Dex.
Yeah,
Grovyle here is a reference to the Grovyle and Pokemon.
Except I don't know how bright that thing would go. Cause in what was it? What was the anime where they had the one Pokemon anime where it was basically red and blue, and they had Charizard fight Mewtwo and Mega Evolve in it, and then beat Mewtwo, where he fell into the water and his tail was still burning. Then again, that's Charizard, not Charmander, so yeah.
Mystery Dungeon Explorers. He's got a time gear, so he time travels away.
Okay.
So here, the entire Venusaur and Meganium lines are said to have a pleasant aroma that calms people and Pokemon. It weakens their fighting spirit. It nullifies their aggressive emotions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Chill out, man. Hence also Venusaur's very good. This also relates to why...
Yeah, Venusaur looks cracked out of his fucking mind in the first Pokemon Stadium game. I don't know if he looks that cracked out in the second one, and I think there was a third one. I'm not too entirely sure if there was. I don't think there was. Maybe there was. I'm not sure, but yeah. Oh, I noticed that. I like the little lit and Sprigatito on the top of the Torterra. That's so cute.
Delphox decided to hang out with them. This fire psychic Pokemon is partially based on Delphic oracles, basically the ancient world's future seers who, for lack of a better term, would burn herbs and get really, really high to get their visions. Now this evolution
because it's a fucking
with a
weed
nod
head.
to Eevee's Z move, but Espeon's future sight makes it realize it's gotta get out of there before the Eevee chaos ensues. Skipping ahead to Blastoise, who still shoots from its head instead of its cannons, the Pokédex says it's capable of blasting this water through thick
Yeah, and that's why he went through Empoleon, because I actually remember that from the Dex entry, but I forgot while I was watching it that his water punches through solid steel, and well, Empoleon's a steel type.
Steel, so most Pokemon are no match for it. Even Empoleon's own steel wings after a while.
Even if it's 4 times effective or 4 times resistance to fucking water, yeah.
That said, Blastoise and Feraligator's heads are still no match for a Mach 3 water bullet from the agile secret agent Inteleon's dual water pistols. They are slow and easy targets, too. Moving to where most of the fire types are, a 3-way is happening with all the fire fighting type
Did he call them fire furry? Go back. I didn't hear that. I didn't quite catch that, Lockstin.
Targets too. Moving to where most of the fire types are, a 3-way is happening with all of the fire fighting type Pokemon. Setting the grassland ablaze and spooking Incineroar away. Incineroar is a fire dark type heel wrestler who really has no chance here, so the scaredy...
I know he doesn't have a chance and all that. I even read a comment where someone was saying it's because it's fire and dark, but you know... The Pokédex entry says that it looks for like a worthy opponent, and you know, and this thing, and from what I know is that this thing pretty much radiates black Air Force energy, and you think that thing wouldn't give a shit about typings, and it'd just be like, jump in there full throttle and not give a shit. Like, it would be like, oh, you're firefighting? I don't care. I'm gonna beat your ass still. I guess not. I mean, instead he just went over to something that's... Instead, he went over to Primarina instead, which, you know, is still strong against it. And with this thing's mentality, you think and jump against a fight against every single water starter and wouldn't give a shit and still try to fight him. I guess not. Okay, why is the Totodile
stumbles upon the opera-singing Primarina, who gets to experience Incineroar's Throat Chop, one of its signature moves. The move prevents its target from using sound-based moves. Not that it matters.
That's... Oh, what did it say right there? When Incineroar was first introduced, it was essentially a signature move, but saying that now gets the Pokecops called on you. Yeah, Incineroar was the only Pokemon that used Throat Chop in Gen 7, but then, you know, they made it a TM in Gen 8, and now everything can use it, so yeah. Actually, I think other Pokemon in Gen 7 could use it too, I think, maybe, actually. I'm not too sure about that, but I think that was. I think Weavile could have learned it. I'm not really too sure about that, so yeah.
The move prevents its target from using sound-based moves. Not that it matters much, since Incineroar then Smash Bros. Style back throws Primarina. Sceptile then approaches as a common Smash Bros. Wannabe, and it double teams, but Incineroar's spinning Darkest Lariat doesn't care about that. So...
I don't know Sceptile was a wannabe Smash player? Okay.
Oh, the Typhlosion explosion. Let's
yeah.
back up a bit. After incinerating some lessers, Charizard
Well, I figured it'd just explode because, you know, the thing is basically a walking badger volcano thing.
goes for the nearest worthy opponent it can find to smash Bros up throw or just do an anime amount of seismic tossing onto.
Yeah.
Charizard is a bit of a show-off, and his victim just happens to be Typhlosion. What's happening here relates to a few...
Yeah, and it makes sense that those two would fight because, you know, for those who don't know, Charizard and Typhlosion have the exact same number of stats in each stat type. Same attacks, special attack, speed, everything, literally identical. The only thing unidentical is the design, moveset, and typing. That is literally the only thing that is unidentical from these guys. Then Typhlosion's cooler.
Typhlosion's Pokédex entries, it can hide behind a shimmering heat haze that it creates using its intense flames. Typhlosion creates blazing explosive blasts that turn everything to cinder. It's the heat warping effect here, and it has a secret, devastating move. It rubs its blazing fur together to cause huge explosions. Only here, it's not just rubbing some of its fur together to make an explosion. No, its entire back is rubbing against Charizard as the rapid wind pushes against it, causing a big explosion.
From this explanation, we're basically making the assumption that Typhlosion is basically a walking nuke, which just makes it all the more cooler in my eyes.
Explosion in the air, separating the two, and an even bigger, more devastating explosion when it crashes into the ground. Its Pokédex category as the volcano Pokemon. Well, it's true. So the fiery shockwave of the explosion expands, sending many lighter Pokemon away and vaporizing most of the grass types. But not Chestnut, who can easily withstand explosions just fine. And Torterra's ground type, and being partially dug into the ground already, means fire doesn't affect it as much. The smart and tricky Meowscarada decides to hide underneath it.
Fire still has full effect on it, but it just has the secondary typing to help it if, you know, the fire can't one-shot it, or, you know, it's just, or if it's just straight up faster and just, you know, wants to throw a fucking earthquake at him.
But these flames obviously change the weather a bit, like all major fires, and Swamperts are able to detect weather changes with their sensitive fins. They also like digging themselves into holes on the shores. And now, to try and better protect its beach, it uses Earthquake to cause the earth to rise around the area. But Earthquake is a devastating move that hits all non-flying battling Pokemon, so in this case...
God, imagine if Pokemon was real and everyone would just start putting Earthquake on a bunch of their Pokemon because it's like the strongest ground move. And just imagine how much damage there would be. I think there was like a Dorkly bit that it said something like that.
It's gonna hit the whole island. And notably, Swampert is one of only 2 starter Pokemon able to naturally learn the move Earthquake.
Torterra.
The other being Torterra. Now, with 2 Earthquakes and a devastating explosion happening, the island has no chance. Swampert gets pushed back by Torterra's Quake, and in turn, Swampert does what out of all of the starter Pokemon, only Swampert can naturally do. It uses Surf. Another hit every opponent.
Does it actually learn Surf by level up? I know it learns Muddy Water through level up. I don't think it actually... Does it actually learn Surf through level up? Hold on, I gotta look at this real quick. Alright, I just checked and it does in fact learn Surf through level up.
Attack that floods and flushes the island, still being shaken by the quakes.
Shaken, not stirred.
Yeah, that's
it because this Pokemon line is literally a James Bond reference.
Yeah.
Also, I know people who blinked and missed it. Well,
it also helped in the process of getting the reaction video to this copyright claim, which I'm not gonna bitch and moan about that because one, I'm not even big enough to get monetized, and it's a reaction video. I'm not gonna bitch and moan about a reaction video not getting monetized.
Wonder where Quaquaval was during all this?
If it was a different video that I worked on, then, you know, different story. But like I said, I don't even get monetized, so who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? I put the original video in the description and everything, so I think it's fine. Hopefully, unless I missed something. In that case, someone let me know so I can go back and fix it.
And the answer is here, being eaten by Superior. Leaning more on anime logic here, only a few of...
By anime logic here, I mainly mean not game logic. 2 Earthquakes and a Surf would wipe out all of the fire types and then some if we were going strictly by game logic. Whereas realistically, and as seen from time to time in the anime, you can avoid these attacks by dodging up to high ground like you see in Teleon and many others do. Being shaken doesn't hurt. It's the falling rubble that does, so like dodge it? What, like it's hard? Yeah, that is true.
Of the Pokemon were fast, strong,
Game
or
and
cunning enough not to be
IRL
defeated
logic
by
is
the
different.
island-wide onslaught. And Skeledirge was somehow one of them. It sings its
Somehow.
lamenting song, a dirge, a sad tune to funeral music as
dirge.
the ghosts of the fallen starters, which were congregated down into the chasm, float up and away. As does Skeledirge's own spirit friend,
Yep.
the flaming bird on its nose
Okay.
that it uses as a microphone. They are all
Yeah.
being absorbed by Hisuian Typhlosion, a spirit medium who keeps 108
Yeah, they did a really good job on making this actually look somewhat scary. They made him look fucking evil.
spirits bound to its flame to power its attacks before sending them off to the proper afterlife. But meanwhile, Meowscarada pops out and uses its trickster magician magic to fool Torterra into eating a flower bomb.
Somehow.
Dodongo dislikes smoke, and Chestnut, the White Knight, hates trickery like this, and, of course, is basically bomb-proof. Now it's time for an iconic
That's 2 Puss in Boots references in this. Yeah.
top 10 anime battles, Greninja versus
Oh, yeah.
Charizard, and despite
Oh, that battle was so fucking awesome. Like, that was where the X and Y series popped off. Like, I didn't even care that Ash lost again. That was just an awesome fucking fight. Hell, the fight in the last one before that one was awesome, too. The one with Mega Sceptile, too. Like, they fucking nailed it.
type advantage, Charizard wins. Because Charizard, just like in the anime. But specifically here, Greninja tries stealthily putting out Charizard's tail. After all, that's what defeated Charmander. But
Yeah.
despite this common belief, Charizard is shown completely submerged with a still-burning tail.
Yeah, see,
occasionally.
I mentioned that earlier. Like, it completely submerged in water, and, you know, tail's still burning. But I guess it's different for Charmander, as Charmander is weaker.
no longer has this weakness, and if Charizard becomes furious, the flame on the tip of its tail flares up in a whitish-blue color.
I actually
which
didn't know
is
that part.
powering Charizard up enough to defeat Greninja even after all of its previous battle damage. Quite
I
the
don't need a
upset
Mega.
again. Just like Hisui and Typhlosion not really being able to do anything after powering up. Well, in a throwback to our very first Pokemon Battle Royale, we have this
Oh,
exact
yep.
scene. We have Decidueye, who can knock and fire an arrow at an enemy in a tenth of a second, so its battles are decided in the blink of an eye.
Yep.
Well, Samurott's dex entry says, in the time it takes a foe to blink, it can draw and sheathe its scimitars attached to its front legs. And then
Yeah.
there's Infernape, who uses all of its limbs to fight in its own unique style. It is beaten by none in terms of quickness.
Imagine Infernape being in a martial arts movie. That'd definitely be something interesting. Bruce Lee, watch out. You got your next foe right here.
This is a very close battle then, huh? Though the Pokédex also says Decidueye is basically cool and cautious. When it's caught by surprise, it is seized by panic. So when Samurott
So that's why it gets
slices its
fucked.
arrows and Infernape catches them all, it panics and loses first. Followed by Samurott because of Infernape's flame never going out, and its no-limit fallacy, and Samurott's typical one slash and then put the sword away fighting style puts it at a disadvantage here too. But then, here
The
comes
Hisuian.
the Hisuian varieties, catching the Infernape completely off guard. Deja vu? Another Samurott and another Decidueye? That Decidueye still has no chance, but now this Samurott
Sadly.
is evil, and is now known for mercilessly slashing again and again ceaselessly. The off-guard Infernape has little chance to respond before it even realizes what's going on. But then
Creative liberty, yes, should resist the dark type attack, but resist does not mean cannot be defeated by. That is true.
Samurott itself gets distracted by its own bloodlust and is defeated by the other two firefighting types.
Hell
now,
yeah.
you'll notice there's quite a lot of fire types remaining, so let's talk some.
Yeah, that is true. They had Skeledirge was still there too. Incineroar, Skeledirge, Blaziken, Emboar, fucking Charizard, all of them. Well, or Cinderace, no, not all of them, because both Typhlosions are gone, sadly, somehow. But yeah, the boys made it, and I like that. God, I say, and that just goes to show how many kills Swampert was racking up. Like, Jesus.
Meta stuff. It was
Which makes
always
sense.
going to be mostly fire types in the end. The fire type
Yeah.
starters are, in general, or as a whole, the best of the bunch.
That is
First
true.
off, the most resistances, the middlest weaknesses, and plus there's the status effect that plenty of their moves can just apply.
Yeah.
Some guaranteed.
Yeah, every single one of them always get the status effect of burning something. Even if it doesn't even need to. They don't even need to learn Will-O-Wisp. They can just use Flamethrower, and sometimes it'll happen.
Burn. It not only deals damage over time, but also cuts the physical attack damage of the burned Pokemon in half. And only fire types are immune to burn, so yes, even the water types get burned, and now their attacks are less effective on the fires. The other two types have nothing like this, unless you count like Seeded. And also for some...
Yeah, grass pretty much just has sleep, seed, and poison. And water... Yeah, water doesn't really have anything.
Reason, Game Freak decided that...
I don't know, for Alligator with Ice Fang, I guess. Yeah.
Most fire starters just have a higher base stat total. I mean, like in Gen 1, 2, and 4, the fire starters' total stats are 534, compared to Grass's 525 and Water's 530. Also, fire fighting is a very good offensive type combo,
yeah, it is
and
a
there
really
are
good one.
3 of them. The fire types also tend to be on the more speedy and offensive side.
3 of them for 3 generations straight, and everyone was sick of it.
More so than the other types as a whole, and their moves tend to be on the more damaging side as well. But if you were to tally them up and see how many starters of each type get into a game's OU or Uber tiers, not counting the evolutions, because let's be honest, they don't really have a chance. You get Water with 11, Grass with 13, most of those being Venusaur in every stinking gen, but then Fire's here with 17. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fire in the end, which in turn also means...
Yeah, especially since a lot of water type starters end up becoming obsolete because there's just like better water types that you get in the game in general. Like, how many water type starters get replaced by a Gyarados? Like, let's be honest here. Like, let's be honest.
Grass types get kind of screwed pretty early on.
Yeah.
But I think it's fitting. I mean, just consider the general properties of fire. Ooh!
Yeah.
I can make a plant grow and have you sneeze. Watch out. My leaves might be a little pokey. Or I can make you moist, and through an incredible amount of focused effort, I can pierce and or drown you.
I have no choice but to melt your flesh beyond repair by simply bumping into you. I turn your forests into ash and your water into steam. We are the driving force of destruction and the inevitable demise of all ecosystems.
Sure, water puts out the fire, but it's a type triangle.
Yeah.
Here. They should theoretically...
Yeah, and some fires actually can't be put out through water anyways, like chemical fires and then fire that just burns way too hot too. And yeah.
be balanced.
Who knows, maybe we'll get a fire type that actually has water absorb that isn't Volcanion at some point.
But as the anime and card game shows us, type advantage is not everything.
That is true.
That said, calculating in secondary types gets really long-winded if I were to explain everything. But like, most of the best water types get kind of screwed. Yeah, Hisuian, Samurott, and Greninja especially can keep up with the fire types given their watery advantage, but that dark. There are 3 really good firefighting types here. Some grass fighters, too.
Yeah.
Primarina's fairy typing, Empoleon's steel, those hinder their effectiveness when fighting the fire types. And yeah, Swampert is really good itself. Its water ground type means that it's...
Yeah, Swampert's actually, it's actually been noted to have the highest base stat total of all the starters, at this point. I don't know if it still does with Gen 9 starters. It probably does, though. I think it does. I think I checked just to find out at some point, but I don't really remember what I found. So,
super resists fire type attacks.
Yeah.
Hence it lasting the longest and holding off an entire group of fire types.
Yeah, he was
by
racking up
itself
kills.
With a little bit of help of a little... Sobble, that's his name.
Yeah, a little... Oh.
He's also, fun fact, has the highest base stat total out of all of the starters at 535. Only one higher than most of the fires, but interesting design choice, Game Freak.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, it would have a very good chance of winning this, if not for that one pesky little thing. It's 4 times weakness to grass.
Yeah.
A third of the Pokemon are grass.
Yeah, just like a gamer, the moment it touches grass, it just starts dying.
Ass.
Now you die.
I love that line.
Now
you
with
die.
Charizard and Blaziken, 2 powerhouses of the metagame, almost always Uber or OU tier, and Pikachu.
Pikachu!
Pikachu was OU in the Gen 2 games. Gotta count for something.
Yeah, what about Raichu?
Ooh, and yeah, Charizard's got that flying type, so it's weak to electric.
You do got that flying type.
So we're left with the final showdown, Blaziken versus Pikachu.
That was a
Blaziken makes
kick-ass
sense
fight.
given everything we've talked about already, but why Pikachu? Well, a number of reasons. Firstly, it's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
It's a tiny little rat. It's like zooping.
And because it's the partner Pikachu, isn't it? Because that's... Actually, shouldn't they have two? Shouldn't they have had two Pikachus in this? Because, you know, of Pokemon Yellow. But we only see the one. Or was the Pokemon Yellow one somewhere there, but it just got fucked by something. Probably.
Beep, 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 beep. Oh, I'm a squishy little orb that sounds like beep, and I'm fighting this giant flaming bird that punches and kicks like a man.
Yeah, we can just treat
It's
Pikachu.
funny. Nobody expected this cute little orb to make it this far.
Yeah, it's like we can just roll it into a little ball and start playing ping pong with the Pikachu.
But also, this isn't just any Pikachu.
Partner
who's
Pikachu,
already the mascot of the
isn't it?
franchise and clearly is capable of overcoming many great challenges as seen in the anime.
Yeah.
No, this is a Pikachu who can fly with its balloon ride, who can surf with a board, who has a tertiary ability of sorts to just sometimes ignore or remove status effects.
Yeah.
Who has a higher crit chance, who has 4 signature moves with unique effects, like Splishy Splash. It's a water type move
Splishy
that has a 30%
Splash?
chance of paralyzing. Floaty Fall. Did you mean freaking flinch for me, please? Zippy Zap, a priority move that is also always a crit. And Pika Papow,
What?
a strong electric attack that it knows as a secret 5th move. What? It has 110 more stat total than your regular everyday Pikachus, and guaranteed maximum IVs. I want in this thing's bloodline. And to top that all off, it can sometimes just ignore...
Jesus, I thought it was just from the damn... I thought it was only strong because of the fucking thingies. The fucking... the friendship thingy, not... I didn't know it got more base stats and signature moves like that. Jesus Christ. No wonder it was actually putting up one hell of a fight.
being knocked out to 0 HP again and again and again.
And it still lives.
This is Let's Go Pikachu's partner Pikachu. A Pikachu so good, Game Freak locked it into its game. Not allowed to be transferred out. And yes, partner Eevee has the same sorts of buffs, but its normal typing and being focused on trying to evolve prevents it from being quite as good. And plus,
that makes sense.
it doesn't have the cards.
The cards?
More so than any other form of Pokemon media. The trading card game has extreme power creep, so the cards from today will almost always be better than the cards a few or more sets ago. In fact, right now, Charizard V-Star is considered the most powerful and devastating card in the game. Oh yeah, just 320 damage, or 130 that turns into 230 if it has any damage, and it can just do that over and over again. So all the more reason for it to reach third place. Charizard cards are often the most valued and sought after by collectors too, so it's not like they needed to.
I haven't even touched anything having to do with Pokemon cards since fucking elementary school.
Make it this strong, but they did to say something about it. Surprisingly though, it doesn't see a ton of play despite its overwhelming power. But you know what did?
What?
Radiant Greninja. In the 2022 Trading Card Game Championship, half of the top 10 used it for its way good ability. Though, interestingly, none of the top 3 players used it. You know what the 3 toppest champions of the trading card game last year used a lot?
Pikachu?
Oh, you guessed it. All 3 of them heavily utilized Flying Pikachu V and Flying Pikachu V Max. Now, we won't be considering the V Max card because that's the card game's equivalent of Gigantamaxing and such. There was none of that here. But regular Flying Pikachu V is also the closest the card game gets to Let's Go Partner Pikachu and its power level. And if all top 3 champions used it, it must be good, so let's read it. Okay, 190 HP with the move Thunder Shock. It does 20 damage and a 50% chance to paralyze. That doesn't seem... I feel like a regular Pikachu could do that. Just cut the HP down a little, so what's... Oh, right, what's the other attack? So 120 damage. Decent, not bad at all.
Flip a coin. If tails, this attack does nothing. If heads, during your opponent's next turn, prevents all damage from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. Well, that sounds like bullshit.
But a 50% chance to just ignore all damage and effects of the opponent's attacks next turn, and you can just keep doing that? A move like that? No wonder it'd be good. And then when you evolve it into VMAX, it's like it's just a full-on, oh, no wonder it won kind of card. Jeez. Okay, so where does Blaziken stand in the card game?
Well?
Oh, not well.
Oh.
Just 2 modern cards, Blaziken V and VMAX, which again, we're not going to count. So I read a lot of reviews by people who know the card game better than me, and basically the conclusion here is that Blaziken V is... it's okay. You would only ever really use it to turn it into VMAX, but even then, Blaziken VMAX is decent at best, very middle of the road. So Blaziken versus Pikachu?
Won't you die?
Well, you see, Blaziken, it's because it was still at full HP when you started fighting it. It just ignored all of the attacks at the start of the Royale thanks to the cards and its balloons, and also its partner Pikachu, which can just ignore being knocked out sometimes.
Yep, it's a bullshit thing.
Isn't this game great? But all of that sounds like
Such
it's
a
leading to a
baby's game.
Pikachu victory, so why didn't it? Well, beyond the obvious that none of us want it to. I mean, it's an unevolved rat that we see every second of the day already. It overcomes miserable odds on the reg in the anime constantly. It's cute. Too cute to be this powerful.
Yeah, it's too overrated.
So tiring.
Like, people love
This one should
Pikachu, but
love
it's too overrated.
But yes, even in loss,
Hey, speaking of overrated, did you know Pikachu actually is not the most popular Pokemon in the U.S.? Because believe it or not, or I think if I'm correct on this, I believe the most popular Pokemon in the U.S. is actually Gengar. You believe that? Because I didn't know that for a while either. It is not
Still a
Pikachu,
very
surprisingly.
close battle. This part of the Royales are always tricky. The TCG, board games, spin-off games, and anime, though, they all pull from the main video game first. So of course we prioritize looking at the main video game stats, meta, and Pokédex entries first, and then supplement it with...
And Blaziken is
If we were
busted.
to prioritize the card game, yeah, Pikachu would win, no questions asked.
Yeah.
But balancing it out with the main games, Pikachu was only OU once, before Blaziken even existed. And Blaziken has been OU or Uber banned this whole time. But why, though? What makes Blaziken so much
Speed
better than the
boost.
rest? Well, it's fire type, first of all. Already a huge advantage because this is a free-for-all battle royale setting and everything is going to catch on fire no matter what happens. But also, as stated, firefighting is an amazing offensive combo. Like, most of the best offensive attack moves are one of these 2 types. And it gets its stab bonus with all of them. Really, at first, the only thing keeping Blaziken back in Gens 3 and 4 was its speed. Blaziken's speed is only a little bit above average, surprisingly.
Yeah, you think it'd be a lot
while it
faster
could
with the
easily
appearance, you know?
destroy most Pokemon, that it's faster than, it's only faster than a little over half of them. Jeez, and partner Pikachu's speed is 120 what? But something happened in Generation 5. Game Freak occasionally goes back and buffs older Pokemon so they can try to keep up with the power creep. But what they did to Blaziken haunts competitive players to this day. So much so that even Smogon's own webpage explaining how the whole tier system works has this illustration featuring Blaziken at the top. Almost like it's the poster child of Pokemon being so good, they're just outright banned. All Game Freak did was fix its little speed problem by giving it access to the speed boost ability.
Hell yeah.
It raises its speed every turn
That was
by
right.
1 stage. Could use Protect on turn 1 and get a free speed boost. Maybe play some mind games, make you think it's going to use Protect on turn 1, so you buff yourself.
Maybe
But
use a
no, it
Focus
used
Sash,
Sword
too.
Stance instead. Now you attack. Oh, it used Protect. Top it off with Flare Blitz and a high jump or low kick, and Blaziken was suddenly considered an uncounterable Pokemon. Not even just this one specific setup.
And then it starts to make sense why you beat Charizard in the anime.
As long as it had that ability, if someone threw out Blaziken, you had a turn or 2 to take it out before it just up and swept your entire team, no matter how tanky they are.
Yeah.
One shot, dead. Swept. You let Blaziken speed up and maybe even buff its attack with a Swords Dance, or maybe a previous Pokemon just set up a sunny day. So it's game over already.
Yep.
No contest. Concede. Like, maybe the best you can hope for is that team has Blaziken. Maybe that Blaziken will only take out half of my team instead of the entirety of it. Entire classes of Pokemon
A good counter is a sturdy Golem with Earthquake. That's a good counter.
and entire strategies and play styles were turned
Granted, I don't know what else it actually do, but, you know, that's a good counter.
on their heads because of this one freaking bird. And then Game Freak went and gave it a Mega effect. You can actually give a life orb to it, and now its attack is even better than its Mega too.
Yeah,
Isn't this game
true.
fun? That all being said, though, it was recently unbanned in later Sword and Shield due to different Pokemon being in the lead of the
Yeah, from what I heard, it actually got weaker in the competitive tier, so yeah.
metagame. Also, Game Freak had buffed some other older Pokemon. They introduced some new moves and items that help you deal with the Blaziken problem, and they even removed some moves that Blaziken used to have access to.
Really?
So now, it actually has some decent counters that are easy to come by in the main metagame. So the actual use of Blaziken, well, you could almost think of it as like the rest of Pokemon finally power crept up to Blaziken's level. But, you see, when it comes to those perfect Blaziken counters, none of them are starters.
Oh,
They're
okay.
like slow bro. And so, in a
that would be a
free-for-all
good
battle
Blaziken killer.
royale with only starters, I believe Blaziken still has not a guaranteed victory, but the best chance at coming out on top.
Yeah,
with
I agree
partner
too.
Pikachu and Charizard coming in close. The dang duo of Game Freak favoritization privilege.
Yep.
Swampert could hide and avoid the grass types until the very end. It too would have a very good chance.
That's true.
Terra might be able to tank it out if it wasn't such a slow, dumb, and lazy tortoise. And Venusaur is actually also on a lot of OU and Uber tier lists when designed in a very specific way. But
Yeah,
in
Venusaur
lore,
do.
it too is just kind of slow and dumb and sleepy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on my own herbs. You hear what I'm saying? Don't make me mad. I might wiggle a whip at you. I'm a Venusaur. But okay, what are your takes? Maybe you're making this face because I made some heinous miscalculation, but like, obviously, this is incredibly complicated, and I am simplifying a lot here.
Yeah.
So, what would you calculate differently? Who do you think would also have a pretty decent chance? And also, what was your favorite
I think it got it pretty well. I mean, with the whole Pikachu, partner Pikachu, Blaziken, Charizard, Swampert being at the top.
moment in the battle? I love this one. Hey, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're interested.
Yeah, I think that was pretty accurate on how that would go. I've only watched like a couple of the explanation ones, and this is the one. And now I'll watch this one, and now it starts to make sense. And I was right about it being partner Pikachu. People were telling me that in the comments. So yeah, hopefully, I hope y'all enjoyed this, and well, y'all asked for it, I delivered. I hope you really enjoyed it, because I enjoyed reacting to it too. So yeah. Anyways, if you enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. And leave a comment on anything else you'd want me to react to, and maybe I'll give it a shot. And yeah, I'll see you in whatever I make next. So I'll see you guys later, and y'all have a good day. Later.